So if you want to achieve 700 horsepower from a 5.7 Hemi, it definitely involves a different combination of different mods and tuning. So that's why. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are having a great Tuesday. Out here in PA, we got some snow. It's a little bit chilly, freezing today. Not a little bit chilly, but it's kind of freezing cold today. But if you ever wonder, or if you want to make 700 horsepower, this is exactly the step I will follow if I'm trying to achieve that right now with my 5.7 Hemi Ram. So obviously this does include a different kind of a bunch of, not just one modification you're gonna have to consider doing. So it's gonna be a lot of different modification. But if you guys here on my channel for the first time, I got a 2014 Dodge Ram 1500 5.7. It is a 4th gen Dodge Ram, and within the next couple months, I got a lot of things planned for this truck this year. I'm talking about wheels and tires, new set of wheels and tires, lowering, pretty much performing mods, all that good stuff. So definitely, if you want to stick around, help support the channel, subscribe to the channel, I appreciate it. So let's get into how you're going to be able to achieve 700 horsepower with your 5.7 Hemi. So number one, off the rip, is obviously you got to pay attention. It's got to be, you want to start with your forced induction, meaning that what are you going to use? What kind of supercharger you're going to be able to use to be able to get you there? There's not really any kind of specific ones, but the most popular option for a 5.7 Hemi is the Whipple or the Edelbrock supercharger or turbocharger. This does help with increased air intake. So that's going to be the number one thing that you're going to want to look into considering doing, because it's not going to be cheap, but that's going to be the number one key right there, is for you to either go with a supercharger or a turbocharger. So my next one, number two, you're going to want to look into upgrading your fuel system, pretty much your fuel system, your high flow injection. Get larger injections. Going to help you with it's going to help your vehicle overall when you're trying to take on 700 horsepower. The next thing I'll say, fuel pump upgrade. This is for your fuel system upgrade, pretty much. The fuel pump upgrade, this helps maintain proper fuel pressure when you are trying to get road gains, big gains and stuff. Those are definitely two important things that you got to do when you trying to make 700 horsepower. Is high flow injectors, and also fuel pump upgrade. So those are the two things for your fuel system that you're going to want to look into upgrading to be able to get to 700 horsepower. My next, number three, is going to be your engine internals. So when I mean your engine internals, obviously you got to look into your forced piston rods, and it can help handle the increased power and pretty much boost level that you're going to be trying to get out of that 700 horsepower, or make out of that 700 horsepower. And that's definitely a huge step that you got to do when you trying to get some real powers. Anybody know this, is your engine internal is definitely key. You can't just slap on a supercharger and think that, or turbocharger and think that you're going to be off making 700 horsepower like that. It's not going to be that easy, and there's a lot of key factors that you got to consider. So your engine internals is the top number three things that you're going to want to do. And the next thing I would say is your camshaft. You need to get upgraded camshaft. This could help improve airflow and enhance your power output, pretty much, and definitely going to help you with sound with your camshaft. If you're looking for that deep rumbling sound, definitely your camshaft going to be able to do that. But that's the least thing you want to pay attention to. Your camshaft really to help your airflow and enhance your power output, pretty much. So my number four is going to be, these are like the less really, I would say, like, I already named you guys like my top three, right? The top three things that you really need to do if you want to achieve 700 horsepower. The next ones that I'm about to name is really like, they important, but it's not really as important as those top 3 things I just named to you guys. So the exhaust upgrade is another thing. You got to get better airflow, all that. When you get an upgraded exhaust system, it's definitely going to help with you with your camshaft. Obviously, your camshaft going to be able to definitely help with that. You know, pretty much, what's the word? I can't even find a word, but it's going to be able to like lock in. I say lock in with your exhaust upgrade and stuff when you do your camshaft. The next thing I'll say is that's definitely important. I know I said these things wasn't really as important, but this one I forgot to mention is the your tuning is definitely getting a tune. Proper tuning done by a professional is definitely important, because I think that should have been up top of my top 3, because without proper tuning, none of these things are going to be able to work that as they should, and it could cause issue, and you don't want no issue and stuff like that when you're doing these things. You want to be able to make sure that your 5.7 Hemi block is nice and safe. You know, you're not going to go through any kind of crazy problem later on down the line. So definitely your tuning, you definitely want to go to a professional to be able to do that. Don't try to get something installed yourself when you're definitely doing something like this. Don't try to do that. My next one is going to be your cooling system. You want to do your upgraded cooling system on your vehicle. As you know, when you're making more power, it's going to require you to get upgraded cooling systems. A bunch of things that got to get upgraded, because the stock stuff that's on these trucks or car, whatever you have, it's not going to be able to handle all of this stuff that you're putting on there. So you got to upgrade to the proper things that are going to be able to take that amount of power and stuff like that. So this is how you really get to 700 horsepower out of a 5.7 Hemi. These exact step today, if you're trying to, like, just to put it out there, it's not going to be any kind of, like, for the guys in the back, if you don't understand, this is not going to be any kind of cheap thing. If you're trying to achieve 700 excuse me, I'm talking too fast. If you're trying to achieve 700 horsepower, you're not going to be don't think that you're going to spend under $5,000. Like, you're going to be spending at least over that, because $5,000 alone is the price for pretty much probably the supercharger, or more likely your supercharger, but your turbocharger probably going to be half of that price. But even tuning alone going to be a little bit pricey, because all of these things over here, like, these are a bunch of new parts that you gotta get to be able to achieve like 700 horsepower. It's not something that it just happened overnight. And if you want it, when you trying to make this much power, I know most people nowadays think 700 horsepower is not really that much, but
faster! I gotta go fast.
When you trying to make this much power, like, there's rules you gotta play. Like, you gotta play. There's rules you gotta play with to be able to play with, because if you don't follow these rules, like, it could cost you probably your car getting effed up, or you don't want to go with some cheap parts and stuff. And you definitely want to go with, let's say if you got a Mopar, go with a place that specialize in just knowing strictly about Mopars, like strictly, like, go with that. Or if you're a mechanic, you're doing it yourself, definitely make sure you talk to some kind of professional, obviously, you know, like, to just so you could be fully aware of like what could really go wrong and stuff like that. But this is the exact step that I would be able to take if I were trying to make 700 horsepower right now out of a 5.7 Hemi. It is a lot of things that you got to do, but exactly what I want to do, like steps. But it's definitely going to be worth it, because 700 horsepower is definitely going to give you more smiles, and it's going to be worth it. But definitely feel free to leave a comment in this video. Let me know what you guys think, and what are some things that I guess I didn't mention, or something like that. If you have done this before, definitely leave your thoughts, man. But I'll see you guys in the next. Peace out.